Hello there and welcome to the man on the ropes. He had this series in the bag, it seemed. Quiritz, the mysterious Russian, who after a recent interview doesn't seem as mysterious anymore. It's just very, very competitive Russian, playing as the Brits in the south of Crossroads. Who's the comeback kid, Ed?
He is WhoRunBartertown, Aaron from Canada, representing OKW in this game, and he's got Firestorm, Special Ops, and Overwatch at his disposal. I'd love a bit of Firestorm, me. Get them flaming heads going.
Oh yes,
We'll
get
see
those
what he
opal
has.
blitzing.
Yeah, we'll just see if he can, actually lock in a commander this game. Might be a thing, but or could be practicing no commander strats for the next Angry Dutchy vanilla tourney. Who knows? But I think with game 2 as Soviets to win without a commander, that's a big psychological boost for him. So this game 3
over, Ed. We have the Kubel ace on the field.
Locked in already. Vet 5, Matt. Come on, Vet 5. More, they can lay down more suppressive fire.
Oh, look at that! He has no regard for bushes, Ed. No regard for flowers. No regard for the graves of former inhabitants of Western France. The Kubel is on the warpath.
If only they had radios, dude, like blaring Fortunate Son. You could just make a Vietnam mod of KOTOR and you're set. But yeah, it is very useful on this map. You got to get that capping in order fast, and it does cap points slightly quicker. So especially fueled and muni points, very useful there for the Kubo early game. And it could give a little love shove towards Quiritz's infantry sections, but I do feel if Quiritz goes UC, then pretty much Kubo goes bye-bye in that matchup.
Certainly does. We have the infantry sections pushing east from Quiritz. It seems where he seems focused right now. The typical allies tries to control this quadrant, and he's using the Tommies as a linchpin in the centre just to stop any flanking on that cut-off. And it's a slow build into 4 Tommies, pretty much standard Brit play. And you can notice as my voice drips with insincerity and hatred. Not for Brits, obviously, we're both British casters, just for the Brits as they inhabit themselves in Company Heroes, Ed. Not everybody's favourite cup of tea, are they?
Unless you're Kobo, yeah. Like, they go in and out of people's vogue, depending how many Valentines you can spam, but definitely Elpen earlier on in his streams hating on Brits, so the pain is still there in order match, but they have been toned down a bit, I believe, Matt, over the
tiniest bit, as the Kubel comes in for the push. Stops those infantry sections firing those Leonful rifles. Push them around a little bit. They jump across the negative cover, make it to the sanctity of that flatbed truck. Yep,
and Bartertown knows the pressure points to push there for Quiritz, but Quiritz definitely strong and up to the task to defend his cutoff. Can be a very sneaky one to have to defend on the south, especially with that western entry point. The infantry manhole that the SU-85 was abusing last game, as you'd say, Matt. But yeah, interesting first engagement on the east, though. It's still going on.
It is.
And, that's a good sign for Bartertown, because
what even is this light cover? What is that small crater?
I don't know how they had it, but
it's omnidirectional, by the way. In Company of Heroes, crater cover as the Kubel goes in for the neutralization of the cutoff, but is evacuated, or what's the word when you're a landlord and you get rid of your tenant, Ed? The thing that they stopped doing
evicted.
In the UK. Evicted, that's it. Yeah. As infantry section goes down to 1.
I think that's a win for Bartertown. He fixed 2 infantry sections there. For a long time held out with just 1 Volks. The second Volks have come back, been able to heal up, and we're going to see a tier 1 build. So we might see the old flak half track a la Asia Mint gameplay.
Yes, he's going to have to do something that is very good against infantry and machine guns. So, an ISG would be nice, because he's up against double Vickers. That's right, double Vickers, tightrope in the house. Yeah, that's the build from Quiritz, but with 4 infantry sections, so not commonly 3 into double Vickers, it's 4 in this case.
Double Vickers as well, and no UC, so if you're the Kobo line of thought, you'd always say Quiritz has already lost because he didn't go UC, but they don't really need it in the early game, especially on this map. A couple of long-range Vickers, especially when they're in a building, can pretty much lock down a lot of the map. But I like the play here from Bartertown. He's making use of those extra points on the map, and just look at that fuel and munitions income for Bartertown.
Yeah, he's
pacing
smashing
ahead.
it right now. He is indeed.
Yeah.
And here comes that truck is now. The battle group headquarters indeed down.
Yep, could go for a super early tier 4, especially on this map. You could even just say the hell with it with the flak half track. It's only going to get an AEC up the chuff anyway, and a couple of AT guns, so I think he could just try and power through and get the world's earliest Obers squads here.
Oh,
Obers
nice.
shred
Good
infantry
incendiary.
sections.
Here we go. We got an incendiary grenade on the Vickers from the Foch Grenadiers. Vickers forced away infantry sections, now turn their guns upon those grenade-toting Foch Grenadiers.
Yeah, wise early retreat there from Quiritz, Matt. That was what was kind of missing a bit from Bartertown in the first game. He lost a couple of Volks in his OKW early game. So let's just see if his unit preservation can keep on par with Quiritz in the early game. And I believe he could just really steamroll OKW style this game.
We have this tree burning, just like the competitive Flame the Company heroes are still somehow burning. Should have died probably 5 years ago, but we're all nerds and we all love it. And here we go, we find ourselves in a tournament in 2020. This is our third major 1 versus 1 tournament this year alone. And we've had two other community tournaments. We've had 5 in a year already, and we're only just about halfway through the year. We've still got the World Championships to come, of course. A lot of great action. And great action here, in fact, as WhoRunBartertown is retreating away, but he has got his ISG up, so he sees the threat of the support weapon quadruple Tommy build.
He's staying really late on these retreats. It's almost like a trait of his now. He's seeing how far he can test his Volks. Somehow makes it back. They had 1 milliscore HP between 3 models there. That was very lucky for Quiritz, and it's also very lucky. Very lucky for Bartertown that Quiritz didn't go full Kimbo Mad Blob on that and chase up with the whole infantry section blob. I believe he could have got that as he loses.
There's that building. That's terrible.
Insta building whilst the pooper gun donks you on the head.
Oh,
Great shot there from Bartertown.
That could have been multiple squads wiped there. If they would all be building on the corner of the sandbag.
Yeah, if it shot a bit to the right, that is danger zone.
That would have been hilarious.
Losing 3 sections to 1 pooper gun shot. That's pretty much table flip.
What are you calling the ISG, by the way? The poo-poo gun?
No, the pooper gun. This is a little, little spud gun on wheels.
Is that what they call it in World War II? Is that like a euphemism?
It may as well be, yeah.
Well, let's say it was. Fun fact for you then. Fun fact for you. The Brits call
you have
this
pooper guns, you've got pooper mines, which are the little shitty USF ones, that just dink you and stun you for 2 seconds.
Fair enough.
Yeah, anyway. Alternative vocab to Go2 Gaming.
Royal Engineers with a minesweeper going west, just trying to deny some territory sectors now. Quiritz for the very first time actually going west. He's been very much consolidating his territory sectors, but he has a lot to show for it. Both players with a heck ton of fuel lead. I wonder what Quiritz is thinking now. Is he going to try and get an early Cromwell out perhaps, or is he just going to... I'm only thinking this because, of course, he does have a lot of infantry.
Could put the pressure on and get a Crusader. A very early Crusader can really stifle OKW as they simp towards that either P4 rush or later. But I think
by Crusader, you mean the Centaur, don't you? The ACAC, right? Because it is on the Crusader hull, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No, that's all right. I forget that, to be honest.
No, I'm trash with knowing them.
We do have pyrotechnic Tommies are really low on health. What is Quiritz thinking? There's another STG squad on the retreat path. It is indeed, and they go north of the log pile, however. A favourable algorithm saves their life, quite frankly.
No, I think it saves their life by not following up with Bartertown's. He needed to get on that retreat path quicker.
Mine in the north. Stern Pioneers don't have the frying pan out, so they eat.
So PUBG for them, they got to head on home. King Kubel's still alive though, 9 minutes into the game, respect. But I think with Quiritz, if he doesn't go for the ACAC, then Bartertown could get the world's fastest P4 here. Or at the very least, pump out some Obers.
Yeah, always good to try and get the Obel Soldaten on the field. Get the MG34 racing away on the fatalities. It's a good map for it as well. As Tommies again are going to eat and mine the hard way. Not good mining this game thus far.
Yeah, Bartertown's been on point with that. We saw that in the Soviets. It just kept him in that game. We saw the VPs bleeding out in game 2. So fast for him. but those mines were instrumental in keeping Bartertown in this tournament. And now in game 3, seems to be punching ahead in terms of the field position. But the VPs somehow Quiritz has got a nice lead on that. It's a bit of a stealthy VP lead. Didn't notice that one.
Yeah, he's crept up on him. 2 shoe mines in the west are being swept by Quiritz as well. As in the east, the infantry sections go fourth. He's going to bet that there's no mines here because he's swept so many in the west. He's right to bet so. He's also found the ISG's forced that away.
Yeah, and as OKW, especially on a map like this, I tend to myself go for double MG. This is almost like a prerequisite for OKW as their Volks take a lot of time to vet up and get useful basically. And yeah, we've only seen one MG and one little infantry support gun, as you were, man.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I was just wanted to fully clarify.
That's object.
You're speaking another language to me, mate. You're too edgy and cool for me. I'm very vanilla and corporate. I am corporate AE, and you're this renegade chaos monster.
Lol. But the main thing I wanted to highlight is I just think it's opportunity window lost for Bartertown there. He had such a good timing window to get a very quick P4 out there, and just kind of scuppered it by taking a lot of time to tech up. You gotta utilize the timing windows as much as possible in 1v1. In 2v2 you can get a bit of help from a teammate, sit along for a while, but in 1v1 it's all on you and how fast you can push through those gears of tech.
A lot of infantry sections and a lot of fights in the east. Meanwhile in the west we've got Stern Pioneers being forced away by the Bren toting infantry sections now. Back in the east, Votes currently is looking low. Quiritz is battling on multiple fronts.
This is the way he wants the game though. He wants to drag out the predominantly 2v2 play. He wants to fight him on a lot of fronts, but well held by Bartertown. Stood his ground well there with the MG34.
I don't know what WhoRunBartertown's thinking. He's got a lot of fuel and a lot of manpower, but he's not teched his Schwer. There he is. Now he's teching it. I was going to say.
He could just be going for the Mega Troll 19-minute KT, but I don't think he quite needs that.
No.
He's missed the window for flame heads, that's for sure. So I don't think he's going to use a commander. I think he's confident enough that he can take on Quiritz without using commanders, save up all those meta ones for later stages of the tourney. Meanwhile, if you flip the coin, Quiritz, he's not used a commander yet, but you know he's got to be low key thinking, yeah, this is not how I had this series panned out after such a dominant game 1 performance.
Certainly, and here we go in the centre. The Vickers is just waiting. And what a high-action game this is, Ed. We've got a Kubelwagen sitting there waiting to refuel. The MG's in position behind a bush. Meanwhile, Volksgrenadiers are moving around slightly in the centre. Meanwhile, there we go. In the centre, we have lots of infantry sections moving around. This game is all over the place, Ed.
Look at
Megatron of
warfare. 3 Volks versus 3 infantry sections. Backed up by a Vickers. Let's see who wins. But the MG34's dislodged on the west, so good work there from Quiritz. And double infantry support guns. That's the way from Bartertown. So he just wants to basically go AFK and try and wipe squads. Feels good, man. Feels TV2, way to victories. Just build and direct and
that's why we've lost
go make a cup of
activity,
tea.
I think, because we've got a lot of support weapons. It is a brick game at the end of the day. And also, it's the 2 ISG build. He just wants, as you say, sip his tea and wait for the ISGs to get their fatalities, you know?
I think these guys have watched a lot of Von Ivan streams and just thought, holy hell, I do not want that to happen to me. Because only Von can do Von things. Like, not many people can go for the juggler and put it off like he can. And both these players, you're just seeing such a diverse game style across all the players in this Master League tournament. Both of these players, I would say, sway on the risk-averse side of things. You could say Quiritz of the 2 is a bit more of a go-forward and GG pusher of the players, but...
we are going for a KT, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be a long old haul, but he's probably going to get it around about the 19-minute mark, if I had to guess. And that could be curtains for Quiritz so early on. I don't know what he can bring out to counter that. Maybe a Firefly and a Comet combo and hope for the best, but KT, Matt, that early on
Oh.
could be bug splat for the infantry sections.
Certainly could. Talking of Von Ivan, of course, he is in chat watching this right now. He's had a big rest. He's the first player to get into round 2 in this tournament. The very first to race ahead and just smash his opponent. And that's what he will be hoping to do himself. He's very good at smashing people. He doesn't mess around. He doesn't get into these long, drawn-out contests. He lives or dies by the sword.
Yep, it's a throw or Omega win in 5 minutes. No choice allowed. I love it. And that's why he's so popular to watch and so fun to watch his streams. It's Von Ivan, a stalwart of the NA streaming community over the years. And someone who got me into this game, so...
He did indeed. In fact, you as part of the Fly Von Ivan to UK GCS 1 campaign, that's how you got into things, you know? Yeah. And then you showed up in your suit at the event, and I was aware that you were one of the donators, so I was like, yeah, come on in. And you were very well dressed for the occasion, and we were all out there, and, you know...
My first gamer convention, I didn't know what to do, and then I saw everyone slurping Monster, and
you were there. You were trying to. I was knackered, mate, and it was going horribly. It's the worst, one of the worst days of my life, quite frankly, from a technical standpoint. And you were like, "Yeah, my bro's got this music studio. It'll be great. Come there next year, much better than this." And I was like, "Please stop talking to me. I just want to go and die in the corner. This is terrible." You were right, and we ended up actually going to your brother's studio a year later for GCS2, the greatest tournament in Code 2 history by far. And yeah.
Shout out to Saffron Lane. That's the only reason I knew about the tournament, is because you were that ESL studio was a stone's throw away from where I used to have my sports day at schools in Leicester. So
there you
go. It was written in the stars, as Buku would say.
Talking of writing in the stars, indeed, the ISGs are throwing projectiles into the stars and down upon men's heads. We've had a request for lethality ratios. We've got one with 5 kills, the other with none. But both are doing a lot of AoE work, basically pushing you out of area and getting health damage and stuff. And there it is. Constant pressure applied, allowing him to get to King Tiger, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think double AT gun preemptively already built again by Quiritz. He does not deviate from his build, it seems, and double Vickers being able to hold down a lot of this map. So WhoRunBartertown kind of squandering his early game advantage here.
And there we go.
We got
an MG taken out in the east there by the Focus Grenadiers with the STGs. He's also going to be able to take it. So WhoRunBartertown's strategy really seems quite strong. He is, of course, going to be up against the stall to Comet.
Oh, and another MG goes down the mid. So a couple of things happen there, Matt, in like Neo Matrix-esque quick timing. So the Vickers defended the other Vickers from being capped. Volks had to run back. A new Volk squad now has recapped the Vickers on the east, whilst the Vickers in the mid go down. And that's probably the most times I'll ever say Vickers in a minute.
Love it. We were having multiple MG catastrophes on the field, but it seems that WhoRunBartertown has better of it for now, especially if this Focus Grenadier can take this Vickers in the centre, and indeed it can. There you go, WhoRunBartertown with a decisive lead now in terms of capability, manpower, and oh, look at that fuel as well. He's certainly got the manpower for a KT, and he's 310 fuel in total.
Oh, sorry, I just saw the funny. I saw a Piet shoot at the Kubel, completely missed the King Kubel, and donk the Schwerpanzer headquarters on the head. So that's why you see a bit of HP knocked off.
Oh, I see that, yes.
It was the... Oh my... If you saw how far that Piet went away from its target. UK technology, folks, in the 40s. Couldn't beat it.
Spring-loaded shaped charge warhead. Every single British soldier to use one thought they were awful. The Piet. And SGG's march in against Bren gunners are trying to deny the cover. They throw an incendiary grenade and, of course, force it away, meaning they capture the east. Meanwhile, he's also doing good work against the west. You've got Brend up Tommy's waiting for him as a Stolt was, just the MG34. He's got the 2 Vickers already in position.
The Brits, I think, Danestar, fun fact, chose to outsource a lot of our weaponry, so we were picking up the Bofors from Sweden and rifles from South Africa and all sorts. True empire effort during the war of our technology and weaponry. But yeah, the Piet was an abomination of a design. I think most handheld anti-tank weapons like the PTRS, they were pretty trash.
They were up
in
until
the
like
actual fight.
1941, especially the Germans did
Yeah.
not have anything that could even penetrate a T-34 or a KV-1 at that point in time.
Yeah, the Panzerschreck was pretty good, but a bit unwieldy.
Okay, that was the reverse engineering of the bazooka, of course. Oh, and here we go. Just to interrupt, we've got a very fat interruption. It is indeed the Königstiger, the Bengal Tiger, the Tiger II is on the battlefield. This humongous dollop of steel is going to roll very slowly into the centre of the field and cause WhoRunBartertown a decisive advantage and Quiritz a lot of problems.
And he's keeping his elite armor doctrine for a later date, so he's locked in the Overwatch upon the survival of the KT.
First
Now,
action.
King Tiger and a King Kubo on the map at the same time. You know, are they going to have a bit of ego wars? A la A and Ed 80 Squirts? Find out right here on Hustles.
Comet Tank is on the field as well now, but the King Tiger holds firm for now.
KT
As the 6
hitting
pounder
its first
repositions.
shot, penning the front armor of the Comet. That's what you want to see for your huge investment if you're Bartertown.
Here we go, good positioning by WhoRunBartertown on the infantry section. They're going to have to be careful. King Tiger repositions to the west.
Oh no, King Kubo, danger close to going down. What is this? Oh, Megalorphos, no!
Oh,
King
dear.
Kubo, Rip Arena, Vet 2 it reached. So not quite the dreamy heights of Vet 5, but good effort there from Bartertown. Keeping the Kubo alive in competitive 1v1 tournament play for 21 minutes.
Look at this from
a micro
WhoRunBartertown,
achievement
everybody.
in itself.
His attack grounding constantly, Eddie. He has prioritized vehicle mode on, meaning every shot is placed. Look on a retreat path here. He annihilates that infantry section.
Nice,
Could have gotten
nice.
a squad wipe.
Now he
but
needs to bum rush that with his stern piles and pick up a Bren, or build an Ober and get that double MG hype, because that Bren now is the most prized possession on the battlefield for WhoRunBartertown if he can pick it up. But his big blob goes east, and that will meet an AT gun, so they're going to have a good time there if the Comet doesn't stick around to help out. But we see some
Talking
cheeky mines already down from Quiritz, and
We do.
mine as
Defensive
well
positions.
from Bartertown. Yeah, battle of the mines at the moment.
Battle of the Mines as well, as each player has a strategic conundrum. Quiritz's answer is to get a sniper out onto the battlefield, so not a bad idea really.
Cheeky
And,
choice, yeah, especially with the stun on a KT. That's, you know, it's a big lump of a unit as it is, so you do not want that already impeded anymore on the mobility front.
Stone Pioneer needs to take out the Minesweeper as the Comets backing away. The sniper opens up with his first kill. The King Tiger bursts through the bushes over the first grenade spotting for one of the two AT guns. The other's in the rear side, but what an attack round by the King Tiger. About to roll over a mine. He's got a damaged engine. He's now a sitting duck out there. Can Quiritz take advantage?
This all stems from the stern pilots not having their little pan out, and then down goes a Volks Grenadier as well. Bartertown falling apart at the seams.
Oh, the King
boy,
Tiger got
KT
penetrated from the
dies
front by the Comet. The Comet's now going in. He's gone past the Rakettenwerfer.
Swing are coming in. The Comet is getting the surround and pound off. 1 HP of the Comet and of the KT.
Last shot misses from the King Tiger. However, the
What was
Faust
that?
goes in, and there you go. The shot through the bushes by the 6-pounders. King Tiger down.
German technology.
Can the Comet survive, though, Ed? Can the Comet survive? Can he get away with it?
Even if it dies, it's the best trade since Donald Trump's 2020 deal with South Korea. But I think he's gonna simp away. Oh, gets phosphorus round up. Could wipe another Volks. P-it scale off that Volks Grenadier, and the Comet gets away. What a game clincher there from Quiritz. WhoRunBartertown. It's gonna be a long time until he can save it for another KT, but yeah, went for the big old KT rush meme. Didn't quite pan out for him there. But he's still in this game. Nearly 300 VPs. Good map control, double fuel. You know, he can come back from this. But I've got to say, folks, when you have a Stern Pioneer as OKW and you've got an expensive unit like KT, get them sweepers out.
Sniper, by the way, got killed by ISG's Orange Pest reports.
Beautiful.
So
Vet
that
3
got
now
eaten
on
up.
one of them. Yep. Vet
Nice,
1 on the
nice.
other. So one of them must have, yeah, got Uber. You get a lot of vet when you take out a sniper. But no sweeping still from Bartertown. 400 munitions. He could be laying mines. Could even have a double pioneer.
What happened to sector assault as well? 250. He could be utilising that, but he is currently in a bit of a lead in terms of manpower and control, even though he's lost his King Tiger, so we can't doubt him too much.
No, I'm not. I still think he's in an okay position, but it's just wow. If that KT hit, Matt, like totally different story there. Quiritz is down his main big investment tank, and Bartertown would have lost the KT anyway, I do believe, but yeah, it's looking rough now. One Raketten's going to have to carry this in terms of...
It is, and he couldn't penetrate his first shot. Not too great as the Tommies gun him down. STG saved the day.
But Double League is doing some work. You can get some wipes over time with that. Just AFK peeping away. With their long-range shots, they can sneak up on you. And we've already seen that with them taking out a sniper. And it's a Panther now for Bartertown, so this is a lot more sturdy choice, I feel. A bit more mobility than the KT. Get out of dodge if needed. A lot easier.
West side, we've got infantry section. Infantry grenadiers changing caps. East side, indeed we have Quiritz back on the warpath after he replenishes and refocuses, reinforces, recuperates, and gets some reconnaissance off before he recommences his push.
Yep, and those anti-infantry guns are going to have to live up to their name and really carry on the AI front for Bartertown, because Panther doesn't really have any anti-infantry prowess at all, unless you go for the Omega Lol J-turn whilst on a suppressed squad with Blitzkrieg enabled.
Comet on 7 kills, shepherding the Tommies back to base. And we've gone for a Panzer. The Panzerkampfwagen 5 is out for WhoRunBartertown, going on a bit of anti-foliage mission.
Maybe it's Happy Panther. He's turned up from earlier. Helping out Bartertown. But yeah, I think a mini-game within a game. I don't even care about what else is going on now. I just care about this dropped Bren and whether Bartertown can get a squad to go pick it up, because that will decide the game. I've seen it in the stars. Mystic Meg style.
Oh, nice crush from the Panther there.
Yeah, that's when it can actually do work on a suppressed squad, and if you blitzkrieg in and pull a Garanga-esque GTA crush off, then it can do some work, but usually just an open play, pretty lackluster against infantry.
Bit of pyrotechnics on display in the west as the Tommies get a parting gift away. Just keeping the victory point situation in Kuritz's favour, as he does have a little bit of a lead in that arena.
Yeah, and he's locked in commandos, so nice late game infantry unit to stall and hold VPs on, especially with some ambush nade tactics. Oh, Comet absolutely dings a barrel. Nailed it, but none of the squads.
Comet is going to be able to operate with impunity in the centre, because the Panther can't really penetrate whilst both 6-pounders are there. So we're going to need a bit of ISG smoke or just ISG assault, and just some proper good barrages laid down. You're gonna
3
have
MGs though for Bartertown, so technically you can spread them out and put 1 on each VP, which feels good for the late game and VP control. But Quiritz now with a rare outstretched push to the eastern flank, gets those Tommies home early. Good unit preservation for both players there. Bartertown early retreat on his Volks. And yeah, I think double Comet now, Matt. Double AT gun. You've got to favour Quiritz on the armour front, but Bartertown on the support weapons. Definitely huge force here. And could get the 60-50 land up.
As you've mentioned, they're going to be just so powerful in a victory point confrontation, but Quiritz's Comet has done so much good work. It's 10 kills already, and it's just been able to consolidate Quiritz's shaky position in the centre.
Could we see some GCS2 Von Ivan meta with Goliath usage as well, Matt, due to the huge munitions haulage?
Oh, please, come on. How much munitions does he have? He's just not using one of his 4 resources, and it's just sad.
Yeah, but he's definitely got enough for a sector assault and a GG push, as well as his obers he can upgrade now with LMG straight off the bat. So. Just 2 Volks left though for Bartertown. It's a kind of danger low place of amount snares as the infantry support guns nearly wiped the engineer, and that's the sole engineer of Quiritz at the moment. I think he desperately needs to get a second one up.
Obersoldaten out with the MG34 not far behind as the Comets going to be shot at by the Raketenwerfer and actually penetrated through the rear. Meanwhile, in the east, you got incendiary grenade well dodged into green cover by the infantry section. They're winning this battle against Vet 5 Volksgrenadiers.
Yeah, folks are so underwhelming this patch. That could be a wipe. Nope. Catches it just in time. Gets out of there. It's interesting to see Quiritz pushing so far now on all fronts. Really wants to close out this game. Maybe he's got a late evening appointment or something. Suddenly gone up another gear, man.
We've got a meteor shower now as the second Comet's on the field, so he's got two of these very expensive, very powerful all-rounder tanks. Probably one of the best pound-for-pound tanks in the game. It's nigh on a Pershing in terms of capabilities. Not quite, but it's getting there, you know.
Yeah, and to counter my view earlier, you could say, well, Quiritz just locked in the mobile assault regiment for those vehicle crew repairs, so you don't even really need two engineers if you're going to be clicking that ability very often with 52 munitions per minute income.
Panther on the crushing mission in the west as the MGs try and keep it going through WhoRunBartertown. But it just seems Brits with this amount of population cap versus OKW with similar have more pressure to exert.
Oh! West front, the opens.
I've seen it, Ed. There we go. We've got a moment. Hi,
okay,
get
GG,
your horns
GG.
in chat, everybody.
I'm
GG is
See you
called.
later. The show's off.
Let's see a replay of that, an action replay, Ed.
I see you type now. I was like, whoa, one of them typed? Real to see. Interesting that you don't correlate your Master League to the in-game name.
Meanwhile, in the centre, whilst we're watching the action replay of picking up the Bren gun, you can see that Comets have been dominating, again stopping WhoRunBartertown from having any chance of capping the central circle.
New land mattress ready to go.
That was the 2001 Space Odyssey feel, you know, when the monkey picks up the tool. That was when the Hoovers get that Bren.
Land mattress is out, Ed. Her Majesty's land mattress straight from the DFS.
These boys.
The DFS warehouse. They've been on constant sale, and it's going to be.
They're not cheap. That's quite an investment. 350 manpower, 10 pop cap. This is basically a tank on wheels being pushed around.
No, it's rocket artillery, Ed. It's not a tank.
No, but in terms of pop cap.
Just completely no-sold your reference, bro.
T-34, that could have been from Quiritz. Why is it T-34, bro? Don't care if you're Brits. But no, I think this is his last all-in. Like, gonna get a huge power rush with this. Push for 2 Comets. I like this end game setup for both players. They've got GG push potential. Especially with Bartertown's skill planes.
Yes, he is. Here come the rockets. Is he in position? Yes, he is. We've got Comets ready to rock and roll. We've got infantry section with Brens ready to take a toll. Come on, Quiritz. Go for it, son.
On-Ivan mode activated. 1 lead gun already goes down. The highly vetted infantry support gun. Comets doing God's work now.
But we've got sector assault also
denied.
on the centre. Denied indeed as the Comets are forced away. WhoRunBartertown clicks the ability.
Some dude ready, so you've got to expect those skill planes. But I don't think Bartertown gave away his doctrine at all until he clicked that skill plane. So that was a fresh surprise for Quiritz in-game. We get the 2020 vision as casters and viewers, but pretty sure he kept it quiet until then. And now it's quiet no longer as I just hear 500 Stukas flying around. But
he's popping those zits as well now. He's popping the zits with his detrenching tools, the Panther and the Raketenwerfer. And there you go, the planes, the one-click, the disgusting one-click has allowed him to reclaim the centre of the battlefield after 15 minutes of not being able to do so based on the tactics and strategies he could employ. He has clicked the ability, Ed.
It's just pixels on the screen, bro. No point getting upset about it.
Might as well play Lemmings then or something, I don't know. Let's all go home. Ed has had had an existential crisis, and we're now just staring at pixels on the screen. What is the point? What is the point? I don't even know why we're doing this now.
The point is, I want to see these Obers win the game now.
Oh, okay, fair enough. You brought me back in.
Prove,
The Obers.
prove my theory correct that if you pick up a weapon as OKW with one of your squads, you insta-win the game.
Which is the one with the Bren there? That's the interesting question. Right on the west side, it would seem. Here we go with Comets versus a mighty push from multiple infantry squads. A little bit death-defying there from WhoRunBartertown. He just about defies death. Indeed, in the centre, the infantry sections push in. Do they have AT support? Yes, they do. As the Panther backs up.
Okay, these Volks days are numbered. I know they've had 5, but double Comet. They could easily bug splat a squad, especially with the use of phosphorus.
Oh, Abyssal not in a very shaky garrison. And they disembark.
Look how many abilities the Comet tank has straight out.
Lots.
It's what the hell? Why has it got warp speed for free just because of a tech? Lol.
Oh, don't get me started. It's
Doesn't
so
even
inelegant.
cost munitions.
No, it's just.
And every vehicle gets it. It's pretty damn strong. And then they can chuck a nade out for $20.
If you see, guys, I've just
the
disabled the overlay. You can see how many abilities the Comet has. As the land mattress makes its presence known for the second time. ISG Vet 3 needs to keep that veterancy. Oh dear, one rocket could end it all. Oh, and what is WhoRunBartertown thinking? He's timed. He's timed it to perfection. 2v2 pro strats there.
Oh,
He's timed the rocket artillery's ending.
Next level, it's fine, it's fine. Panther needing fixies, but also needing to fend off these Comets.
Oh, ISG was taken out in the end, thanks to the coaxial machine gunner, it seems.
Yeah, that's been decrewed more than the Del Grano. That Pippa gun is probably on its 4th crew. He does crew it with stern fires, weird flex.
That's a very expensive recrew, and the Panther pushes in to force away the Comet as the MG is kept alive for now, or the weapon at least. And meanwhile, in the centre, the victory point pressure keeps on from Quiritz. He's not letting up, Ed. He's...
Infantry section finally taken out in green cover by Bartertown. That's a big pickup, Matt, because I was... The very reason
was that one? Was that in the centre? Did I just watch it?
Yeah, the flaming hulk of mess above the north.
Ah, I see. Yeah, there we go.
But they were kind of hidden, yeah. Sneaky squad wipe there from Bartertown, but they all count. And I think one big thing for Quiritz that was in his favour was they had 4 sections against just 2 Volks.
Commandos, infiltration commandos have just come onto the field to try and keep the centre.
He's evened up the score with a 1-click.
Yeah, exactly. A bundle nade was tossed there and they were forced away immediately, so kind of the worst infiltration of all time.
Well, it's not as bad as when somebody simps into the house just before you click it and then they have to like jog in off map at the bottom of your thing and it's like whap, 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 whap. But if you ever want to watch, folks, something about the Commandos and one of their most daring raids, then Jeremy Clarkson did a fantastic show about the raid of the Norwegian docks that the Commandos had to pull off. Heavily outnumbered and outgunned.
It's funny that that's the one chosen for documentary, not all the failed raids, like the one on the U-boat pen in West.
No spoilers,
France, where they all got captured.
Could have failed, you never know.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
To help,
Vet 5 Folksgren is in a heavy amount of stress in the east as the Comets look to obliterate them, as do the Brand guns. This is very much a dead squad. Incoming, last shot, goes stationary, gets it with a machine gun. Meanwhile, in the centre, we got another infantry section dies, so we've got a tale of 2 lost squads as the Comets had a damaged engine critical.
One
Will the
snare
Panther
now, just 1 Volk alive. I said their days are numbered, and yeah, I was proven right, sadly. For Bartertown's Volks there, they just get annihilated. He needs the Panther screening for his squads. Gotta make those Comets pay if they're tapping your squads.
Goes on the retreat path here with the land mattress, looks to finish it off with the Comet, but the Panther's waiting. Phosphorus round in on the MG to force the MG away. And here comes the Vet 3 Tommies through the Brent to cap the central victory point and get WhoRunBartertown closer and closer to double-digit figures.
That's 6 toggleable abilities or 1-click abilities the Comet has with an upgrade. Yeah. Pretty disgusting, but that's
it's one of those mods, those Co-1
well.
mods you started to get in the later days, like Eastern Fronts. They were great, but the units had like 30 abilities. And like the doctrines
Just
had like
became a
40
MOBA,
pages. Yeah, basically. And I don't know why like a dev-designed unit in Co would ever have more than 3 abilities. Keep it simple, keep it elegant, keep it understandable and memorable.
Yeah.
Not like an Argos
And also
catalogue of-
punishable if you make a mistake. Like Comet is the least punished tank in the game because
Yeah.
it's got so many outs. You make that mistake
we should make
with
a
Panther
balance
and you
mod, Ed.
just
We should
snare.
make a balance mod where we just change the Comet's abilities and that's it.
I think people are beating us to the punch on the old balance preview mods campaign, but right back here in tourney mode, 1v1 land, we see Sternfire's desperately holding on to the mid VP under
And,
duress of many
interesting
squads.
use of MGs. WhoRunBartertown knows Crossroads like the back of his hands. He just goes west side straight away with the MG, plants it on your base exit and hopes to catch you out. And that's a real good time saver. Time's the 4th resource. I mean, it is a real-time strategy game at the end of the day. So with this MG, he doesn't even go for the first cap head. He just goes straight to your base exit, hoping to catch you out. And it's a good play. I like it. Intricate.
I also like how, we've got a bit of a one-off situation here where all the Brit machine guns are held by the Germans, and the German machine guns held by the Brits. So it's in the old Donald Trump-esque trade there, and yeah, it seems to be +1 for Bartertown in the MG camp, but just having one Volk, that's going to be very painful as we transition.
You've clearly been reading
Super
Art
late
of the
game.
Deal, because that's the second Donald Trump trade reference ever. And,
I think I read The Art of War and just enacting it every day. Everyone will be like, shut up! We're trying to
Here
watch
we
a
go.
QT
And the
game."
MG is suppressed on the western side, thus showing those game meters have been lost. He's now lost 4 seconds of play as Quiritz. Well played by WhoRunBartertown. And he's actually got the central victory point right now, Ed. He's got enough munitions in the bag for another sector assault and change. So he's going to be able to hold firm, and he's going to be able to hold much firmer. Now he has another mountain of Kruppstahl. The second King Tiger is on the field indeed.
And Vet for Vaketten to back it up, so this time it means business. I think this is a way better composition. Panther, Vaketten, King Tiger. He's going to be able to help himself out a lot more as a Comet Vet 2
Talking of-
decides to give up on life.
Oh dear!
Charges
And sector
into-
assault. This.
Oh, the way
What happens next with Comet? Jesus Christ! He lives. I'm sorry. He lives. What? What on
You
earth?
see how fast that thing is? Vet B with warp speed? Warp speed? Whoops. Extra P for free. May as well be
Oh,
warp
God.
speed. Bloody hell.
That was very much one of those those old 1970s programs I was trying to parody with what happens next.
Saskin
Find
Hunt,
out
yeah.
on episode 2. Somehow he survives.
Like
The
Knight
shock
Rider
bit.
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I loved it. No, I got
Exactly
it.
what
I
just
got
happened.
the joke even on my screen as I just see the game stops, but it's perfect. or it's like one of those, driving instructor kind of questions or whatever. What do you do next? A. Warp speed away.
Somebody
Max
in
speed.
chat just fat-shamed the King Tiger, who says he's hilariously huge. How dare you? This is a place of work.
Festively plump.
The King Tiger comes here to do its job of killing British people, and you dare criticise, you fat-shame him in his place of work. That is a big offence, a sackable offence, quite frankly. And it was Pandyman2323 in
Getting
chat
sacked
saying
from
that.
chat. Holy shit. Go play another chat, bro.
Oh, ISG has not only been decrewed, but he's also trying to kill it with base artillery. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, MG34 knows when to nope out. Ooh, as the Ubers came in. And that is still the Bren and LMG. No, they've lost the Bren. Okay, GG back the other way, boys. Ubers lost the Bren gun.
How that happened? I was trying to find that
couple of
earlier. It doesn't seem to show it. Comets, meanwhile, are absolutely evaporating this Foch Grenadier squad. Big shots in, and they miss, just as AE decides to talk about it, of course.
Yeah, I'm still scratching my head how that goddamn Comet got away there. Bartertown must be raging. He $250 for nothing. That's 2 sector assaults now for what, like 500 damage that it caused?
Yeah, it was
About
barely
that.
anything. Kind of like Ed in a 4v4.
Just simping in the corner, hoping no one comes near my VP.
I built fuel caches. Leave me alone.
Just going for that almighty close the capper. 90 minutes into a 4v4 game of Port of Hamburg.
King Tiger just sitting like a huge tower defense turret on the center, daring the Comets into view as now he ambles forward with his armor on once more. He's ready for war, and he just eats 6-pounder shots for days.
You got to think, as Buffman Simpson to chat, you got to think what would Bartertown be able to pull off if he did go for the Buffman meta command of elite armor, Matt, having Panzer Commander on his KT and a Panther could have been glorious for artillery.
Oh, on base, by the way, with the land matches.
Oh,
maybe this
the
could be
BM
more
land
effective.
matches. The Ketten is just, chill AF.
Yeah, he's got a lot of vet though, doesn't want to lose it. Meanwhile, by the way, Quiritz he's decided to occupy the central capping circle. He's battling up against the King Tiger. Panther's under repairs at the moment. Can he complete the cap? Because don't forget that WBT is very close to double-digit figures. I always think that's psychological. You want to get your opponent, obviously you want to win the game, Ed, but as soon as you get your opponent with in double digits, it starts to feel a little bit lethal.
WBT sounds like a new variation of a BLT. I'm getting hungry now, Matt.
WBT, what could the W be
Minglies
for?
around. I don't know. White bread and
Wasabi!
tomato.
Have you ever written wasabi? It's Japanese mustard
Wasabi
tasting
sandwich.
stuff.
Jesus.
Oh, mate, I'd love that.
Yeah.
You like the, bacon goes well with mustard, doesn't it? And wasabi tastes like mustard, but
It's the
from
window
Asia.
of opportunity for fast food and Deliveroos at the moment during this lockdown. So yeah, go for it, man. Wasabi sandwiches delivered straight to you.
I'd have that. I'd have wasabi bacon and tomato. That'd be
Keep up
lovely.
the good work, everyone. They're down to
Yeah,
100
your
points.
toilet would say otherwise after.
And the walls of my bathroom. Meanwhile, King Tiger ambles forward once more. The infiltration mandos are well manned now with a 5-man squad for a change, as the 6-pounders are accruing veterancy. Comet's got 20 kills, not too shabby, as the King Tiger obliterates the Royal Engineers, forcing them away. Meanwhile, Panther's looking low. Can the Comet finish the job? Yes, it can! What a shot from afar there! That was a huge shot by the 6-pounder, I believe, and he escapes with his life.
Was it attack ground? Because that seemed hella far from Comet Boy or whatever. 22
Must have
kills
been.
now from the Comet. Of
Let's
infantry.
confirm what got the kill there, actually. Let's watch the
It
action
was the
replay.
6-pounder with cheese, but
Oh, it was the 6-pounder, yes, indeed. You see it there.
but I just don't know how it. He must have done on the almighty attack ground.
Back in reality, we have the land mattress firing once more on the ISG and Rakettenwerfer as the commandos with their Bren guns push forward. King Tiger turns his attention to hit them, however. Comet now tagging in. We've got the 6-pounders repositioning, and Tommy's ready to complete the cap.
And the private detectives in chat were hot on the case there, well played. And they said the commandos were on hold fire spotting for the quarter-pounder, or the 6-pounder, so...
Oh, you're making me hungry now with your quarter-pounders, indeed.
Oof,
So it wasn't an attack round. We had a good
Maximal round after
bit
this,
of
but yeah.
reconnaissance.
Yeah, so they, a bit like, way back in, I think it was CCS2, we saw a hold fire T-70 spotting for the, for the skill plane strafes. I mean, we just saw the British equivalent combo there. That was good.
There you
Conjunction
go.
of skills there from Quiritz. Well played. Good poise as we head into the 48-minute mark of Game 3, the best of 3. Fatigue must be kicking on, and just to keep that presence of mind this late on
know.
into games, it's really well deserved from him if he wins this one.
And of course, their opponent Von Ivan won in about 10 minutes and has been sitting there for 2 hours watching this affair.
He's being fanned in Honolulu by a big palm leaf and fed grapes from monkey butlers in his treehouse. But
Is that how he walks? I thought he had a dog. As the King Tiger gets a huge shot there, claiming his 14th
another Bren drop,
infantry
Matt.
victim.
Another Bren drop, another chance for Bartertown.
King Tiger could pick it up to get the upgrade.
Yeah, stick it in.
Oh, there you go.
Bren
Nice
on it.
big shots from the 6-pounders, keeping the King Tiger away from harm. As the Stern Pioneers are reclaiming a little bit of fuel, salvaging it there. Obersoldaten look to recapture the center, but the Comet and the Land Mattress are waiting for it. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, what a shot! They could finish it off here, squad-wide potential!
Oh, thank the Lord. Slip away. But finally detonates that house, so no one's going to get debated by jumping in a really low HP house anymore. Feels bad. They're always good to laugh at those squad wipes. But Vet 5 for Kedden could be the unsung hero of the game.
Why is he rebuilding the Panther? Has he got no other choice? He has to try
I
and
think
beat these
I
Comets.
think it's Panther, KT push in, and just Omega Law click the skill ability of the planes and hope for the best for
He's got to, hasn't he? He's got to do something
he
crazy.
Could even
He's got to hope
pop
for it.
a for the Fatherland as well, but it's only in friendly territory, so you kind of have to
He's
cap
been
the
having all this munitions, yet he's not using for the Fatherland at all this game. All Goliaths.
No Goliaths
dear.
is unacceptable, yeah. But for the
It is
Fatherland, I kind
unacceptable.
of understand because you need.
Is it not that
you
good?
actually, well, you actually need the mid VP to kind of pop that.
Ah, okay, he's not had it very
I'd say.
much. Infantry section takes the Bren back.
Proper thrashing. He's down to
Quiritz
50
winner
points.
confirmed.
Down goes Bartertown's last hope, maybe. But we're getting super fast. To
Oh,
set
and
up
here
at
it is.
high
The
vet.
ability has been clicked, Ed. As indeed the Rakettenwerfer is super
He
fast to
needs the
set
Faust
up.
off though. Does he get the Faust? He is not Fausted with his.
Ah, but it doesn't
No,
matter because the
that missed.
Panther has superior speed, and this indeed is a movement blocking bush. He can't get behind it, and the Panther's looking to finish the job. One more shot required. Panther has to go forward. He's been shot from the rear by the 6-pounder, and all this time,
here
can he get the
comes the
killing blow?
Omega
No, he
speed, though.
can't.
Look at that
He
warp
couldn't
speed,
get
man.
the kill, and
Oh,
he's
it's
got.
a joke.
He
Warp
has indeed.
speed
Heat
again.
grenade goes off, and the warp speed of the Comet saves the day, as the Piats are now looking to complete the job. However, we've had a good Rakettenwerfer shot in. Land Mattress firing at point blank range. Folks, Grandies have to be careful. Oh dear, oh dear.
Dancing with death like those Venezuelan weird spiders that get eaten just before they get jiggy. But oh, Ober's pushing in. No, this is it. No Bren required for these boys, and they are just whipping through the support sections. Down goes Land Mattress crew. Down goes the AT crew.
Thanks to the glorious Obersoldaten coming in from the eastern
KT
side.
near enough ready to go, so he can finally enter player 2 as entered the game. KT needs to get the hell in there and help out with this push and wipe out those AT guns once and for all.
He has to protect the victory point, Ed. He's going on the offence right now. He's playing linebacker, quite frankly, because they cannot afford to get there. The amount of yardage that Quiritz has on him right now. King Tiger's got to play defence. Comet's going in, however. Veteran 3 with a huge penetration from the front. King Tiger has to back away. Where is the infantry from WhoRunBartertown? This is situation critical, my friend. You're on 39 victory points. You've got to stay alive. This is single elimination.
Wow, I think all the squads of Bartertown, you know, they've put their out of office on. It's weekend for them. They want no part of it. They're nowhere to be seen, and that's the problem of losing your squads to those Comets.
Oh, and Commandos are throwing their lives on the line for Blighty. They get the cap, and they could win the game here. Panther's going to go in, however. We're still on crew repairs with the Comet tank. 6-pounders getting some excellent shots in on the King Tiger. However, now these Vet 2 Comets up against the Panther.
Panther getting a grenade lobbed at it by,
By the Comet.
I think it
yeah.
auto throws grenades. I
One
don't
of
know,
the 7 abilities it has, of course, as... Oh my god, it's in dire straits now as the Comet gets around the rear arm and he gets heat grenaded for good measure. It's in fact the Piats that get the kill.
What was the timer on the nade? Have I just completely misunderstood Brits? I don't know.
I think it's quite a long timer on the Comet grenade, indeed. It's like 3 seconds. Only good against sport.
But it was sticky and it doesn't even have a cooldown. I didn't even
No,
know what
that
happened
was the heat grenade of the the Royal Engineers. As the Comet Vet 3 goes forward, looking for the King Tiger, just looking to obliterate WhoRunBartertown on retreat. He's had a fantastic round 1 of this tournament, but that's all he's had because indeed it looks like Quiritz has won it for once and for all now.
33 VPs, bit of a nail biter now. It's just the Vet 3 KTs standing in between him and victory and progressing in this tourney. Quiritz somehow keeping his Comets alive with the ability of war speed and just skill planes not being quick enough, and Bartertown spending 750 munitions map and getting
Somebody thinks it wasn't a heat grenade, but it did sticky to the tank, didn't it?
No,
So
it
unless we've
can't
had
be a heat
bug-
grenade because it had a timer, so it was an auto grenade.
Oh my god, of course.
Of Comets,
But it
so they
stuck,
get auto
it got
nade
stuck
and
to
a
the
manual
tank.
grenade, but another Bren is good job. This is another GG swinging moment now. Ubers
Vet
can finally
5
pick it up.
Ubers.
They just,
Oh, but
it's gonna
here
be the
comes...
comeback.
Sorry, Ed, but here comes the Vet 3. I know you're having your Bren wars, but the King Tiger is in dire straits once more.
KT
Comet can
bounced
finish
it.
it off, but the Vet 5 Rakettenwerfer keeps WhoRunBartertown in this tournament.
Oh, Quiritz getting busy now. East side of the mid VP, going in with a Comet for King and Country. Oh,
There's those grenades yet again. I've been informed, by the way, from Aerofield. You won't guess this. Get this. The Comet passive nade from Vet 3 is sticky. Why?
okay, just uninstall my life, please.
Oh my god, why? Who
I'm
would
gonna
sit there
reboot
and
back
think
into the Stone
that's a
Age,
good
and I
idea?
never have to worry about this stuff again.
What on earth is going on? We've got a bit of pyrotechnic artillery just on the exit of the base here, just to confirm the cap. The Panthers machine guns are trying to gun them down, but they get it. 27 victory points. They're going to eke down. We've also got an MG waiting in the east, should he dare try and go over there. We've got the 6-pounders ready, as are the Vet 2 commandos getting into the central curtain circle and getting the Bren gun.
The rebranded KT Mark II did get to Vet 4 though, Matt. If he loses
nice.
this, it has been a hell of a...
Moral victory.
Look at that star-spangled top line of veterancy for Bartertown on his support guns and infantry squads. But a commando nade does not care for your veterancy.
No, he gets naded himself, and I'm forced away. I would have just let them die, but that's me.
They were insolent, you little shit. I had them liquidated. Proper Dr. Evil style with your capping mantra. But here we go. This is Bartertown now. Vet 5 coming into the screen as the Obers just destroying support crews for fun. This could be the turn we needed for him. It ain't over yet, Matt.
No, I can't hear any fat vocalists.
Auto nades in 2 directions. How did you dodge this?
How do you dodge it indeed? As the
Them
King
instead.
Tiger occupies the centre. Boats Grenadiers have capped it. We've got a machine gun waiting on, but that's getting obliterated by the rocket artillery. The land
Oh no,
mattress indeed.
the Obers could go down to a stray rocket. It'd be the cruelest way to lose a Vet 5 Ober, but they make it home. That's crucial. That
Sector
is
assault
basically
coming down.
Bartertown's hope.
It is
running
indeed.
away
It's his
there.
only hope as the King Tiger battles on as the Stukas rain hellfire from the
Max
skies
suppression
above.
coming in here. Yep, coming in clutch from the skill planes. Actually getting a pin off there. KT can get some much needed damage in. It's going to reach
get
Vet
damaged
5.
itself
There it
by
is.
the
Vet 5
6-pounder.
KT. Imperial Dane will be proud. Big hold here for Bartertown. This will be a mega low comeback if he pulls this one off. I think his Panther could even go in for it here, Matt. But the Comets are so far back, to be fair. They have some... Yeah, they're on the extremity of the map. Oh, mid gets defended for the Fatherland. Might get popped in 2020. We'll see, folks. But WhoRunBartertown's at a crossroads now of whether he picks in another tank, Matt, or goes for more infantry squads. He goes for a good old Volks Grenadier, as he's lost every other one.
Ricky Rifles just made me chuckle. He just said, can we make the next Master League tournament the Brit Terminator? You're only allowed to play Brits once in the whole tournament.
Yeah. Amen to that, yeah.
The enemy are determined, and we are down to 300
Overs versus
points.
Commandos here. We know who should win this one. It's the MG34 of the experienced Soldaten from the east. It's the
It wasn't
Rakettenwerfer.
Ricky Rifle, by the way, who incidentally is streaming
It's a
Alpen's
joke.
game.
I always do that.
But yeah. Alright.
I've
You know,
always called
Kutu
rifles
is the
ready,
schmuck
Ricky.
pest world of correcting others. It's, couldn't resist. But I was like, Ricky casting and asking measures twice in limb? Ooh, Vet 5, the Kedden goes
Indeed,
down.
Comet Tank
No,
claims
that
his
reload
34th
rate.
victim, as now the Vet 5
Arena.
Königstiger is fully repaired and ready to go. The Comet can't do anything, needs the 6-pounder to help out. But look at the onslaught.
Bartertown needs a P4 or a Stuka, one of the two. He needs to deliver a death blow here with this KT Vet 5 dub.
Oh, Comet's
no,
going to go in for the kill on the
Panther
Panther. He's going to go past the garrison. Panther's reversing away in horror as the Comet finds him and takes him out. The King Tiger was helpless.
Oh,
He's too
folks,
damn
AFK
slow.
and base. The snare is nowhere to be near. Misplay here from Bartertown. Just everything getting a bit on top of him here in the very, very late game. 59 minutes, folks. Oh, fatigue kicking him big time, but still Bartertown clings on by his fingernails to the cliff of hope of staying in this Master League tournament. As the Comets both vet 3 now, that is 6 stars of OP Cometness. Oh my god, with more abilities than you can count on your webbed feet. Oh, it's going to be a tough one for
Could you not mock me
Bartertown.
for being from Stoke-on-Trent, please?
It's talking to chat, actually.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Oh, he kills all of the repairing automatrons with one rocket. The King Tiger is now going to have to stay on that veterancy for now. As this land mattress recruit now is on 11 kills, so he's got a lot throughout the battle.
This is grueling stuff for both players, but if Bartertown can just keep one thing in his mind now, that is to keep these folks near for the snares, because the pushing Comets are doing work for Quiritz.
King Tiger versus Commandos. They're low on health thanks to the incendiary grenade. They throw a cheeky grenade, but the Fudge grenades also dodge, keeping the central capping.
Well held there from Bartertown. I think he needs to just go balls deep on a lot of folks here. Just try and get 3 squads up. Doesn't matter if they're basic bitch straight out of basic training. They gotta get on and start capping. Maybe even put a bit of pressure on Quiritz's side of the map for a change.
West side Commandos fresh on the field. Interesting decision. He might be looking to try and flank this at Vickers. Meanwhile, in the
Getting
centre,
another commander is going to be big on the old VP cappage game. They're very good at usually holding their ground with the Gammon bomb ability. But here comes the Obers. This is the key.
Vet 5
Unlock
Obers and
the
Vet
enemies.
5 King Tiger. This is a Veraboo's wet dream. Superior craft style and superior soldiery goes on as the Comet comes again round the flank. He's taking advantage of it again, Ed. He lets you go forward with the King Tiger. He goes all the way around the back, indeed, as the Comet gets around the back of the King Tiger.
Oh, turbo crush on the Obers. 9 and Z. Obers are
And a
running for their
grenade from
life.
the Comet as well, as the King Tiger's an island of resistance, but he is indeed that, an island easily circumnavigated. However, one Comet does indeed die. Pietz could finish the job.
What is
Indeed,
the swag
they
points?
do.
He wants the Pietz to get the kill for the achievement unlock. Killer KT with Pietz, not the snare. Wow. Quiritz flopping his big balls on the table there for that decision, but it paid off for him. KT, Vet 5 is down. The Obers somehow lived, Matt. They got like garanged by a onrushing Comet. 1 HP lived and Firefly. The land matcher says, I'm losing my grip on reality. He's wailing in the hurt at long range. It's still Bartertown. Fights back, gets the mid, decapping with his Vet 4 Stern Pioneers. They are going to be pushed off though by the Commandos.
Yes, indeed. And 11 victory points tick down to 10. As WhoRunBartertown is now without his prized possession, the Vet 5 King Tiger. He's impotent on the field, and Quiritz is going to mop him up and finish the series in an hour-long spectacle. What a Game 3 we were treated to, as WhoRunBartertown gave us everything at his disposal. But he was left wanting, and it looks likely that Quiritz is going to go through to round 2 to face Von Ivan.
I think indirectly Bartertown has just knocked out Quiritz with this late third game, because I think Quiritz now will just be a mess going in against Von Ivan fatigue wise. But yeah, let's see what he can do. GG to both of them. Fantastic games.
Fantastic game indeed, and look at the damage dealt by the King Tiger. 25k of damage. Absolutely unheard of stuff. And let's check out Quiritz's most valuable unit as well, shall we? Is his 6-pounder, of course, got a lot of 34k of damage off on the King Tiger, the overview screen. And I don't usually go this deep on the stats after a game, but that game deserved it. And yeah, what a battle it was. Army value, as you can see, the death of the Panther, and then the King Tiger just kind of nuked WhoRunBartertown's resistance. So GG, well played, and yeah, let's roll on as the Master League continues. Go.